Quick heads up before we start the podcast. The audio in the first 10 minutes is a little choppy on our guest side. It gets fixed shortly after, around the 10-minute mark, so hang in there. Feel free to skip ahead. Enjoy. Can I vent real quick? I know you're my guest, and I'm firing off right away.
Go off.
Dude, last night I filmed an episode, and so I have a 2018 MacBook Pro. Here, I'm trying to get you full screen here. Why isn't it? Okay, there we go. I got a 2018 MacBook Pro, and for some reason, the left side of the screen glitches. Like if I bring a window over there, it like gets foggy, right? And lately, my whole screen has been going into these weird diagonal lines of randomly. So I usually just work on the right side of the screen, and it's fine. But for whatever reason, last night I started doing a pod. I don't know if I hit record, but it's supposed to start recording automatically. So we're like 10 minutes in and my screen goes blank. So I'm watching in my monitor, and everything looks clear there because I'm HDMI out of my computer into the monitor. And I'm kind of getting like a weird feeling. Like, what if I said, all right, dude, let's just pause. The only way to fix it is to close my MacBook Pro and then open it back up. Now, when I opened it back up, it fixed the glitch and we were still like live. I could see my guest. He could hear me. I could hear him. So we kept talking for like an hour and 20 minutes or whatever. And then he's out in West Virginia. So he lost his internet connection and it went blank. So I hit stop recording and I figured that video now would upload to the cloud and we started a new one, right? Well, it didn't. And we lost the whole episode and we only got the last 15 minutes.
Oh, that's crazy. That sucks, dude.
And then I was thinking, have you ever had a situation where you like made a whole project and like broke a external drive or lost the project?
I've lost like whole collections of beats before. Like a lap shit the bed and I didn't back up anything. I lost like hundreds of beats. So that's happened to me before, and I was devastated for months. Just tons of beats, tons of stems, tons of things that were getting used, files for songs that I could never remaster or release again. Yeah, it's happened to me twice.
It's the worst feeling in the world, man. Just like my gut has hurt all day. And it's not important, you know what I mean? But it was catching up with a friend I hadn't talked to in 22 years. We lived together in Virginia when we were both like 18, and we just had a great conversation, and now it's lost.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. But
it's okay.
Technology's a bitch. Oh, Jesus. Tricky minx.
Well, it's cool that I'm thankful that you're joining me tonight. It's a little different than my usual spiel of like, oh, lost friends. I guess I got to tell everyone how me and you linked up. I think it was just from a couple mutual friends because we were never really friends. Probably a passion for beat making. I knew of you because of people who were friends with you that I was friends with. And then I started working at a marketing agency. And for some reason, every pitch I wanted to do that was like outside of client work was like, how can I get DJ Manipulator involved in some type of episodic content? And we had an idea called Beats and Brew, where we would go like drink craft beers because it was really popular at the time, and maybe figure out a creative way to incorporate like a little mixtape of beats for that series of beers, because they were always, microbreweries were releasing new stuff all the time, or they had their holiday mix. And it was like, how can we incorporate some type of cool beat mixtape, whether it was a cassette that came with a 12-pack, or if you bought 24 beers, you got a cassette tape. But also, like, could they use that music in their social media, or, how could we monetize it in some cool way? So thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Sure. Isn't P or Paul your brother-in-law?
Yeah, yeah, he's married to my
Yes.
sister.
We how we met is because me and P we used to make music together.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, was that the group Kinda Dusty?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
How did that get set up? Was it more than you and Paul, or was it like a collective of guys? Oh, Either Real was in there too, right?
Right. So me and E were in another group, or at least collective called Socialite Sounds. Um, that kind of went to shit due to egos and whatever kind of bullshit happened in the background. And while we were working with the guys in Socialite Towns, we kind of got close to P and Louie and Kenny, and started making music at P's house. And he lived on is it Tappan Street?
Mhm.
Um, so once me and his crew kind of dissolved, we were like, hey, why don't we do something? And I had a all vinyl mix out called Studio Kind of Dusty. And our whole thing was like, going to the record store, digging for records, sample and Dusty records. So kind of Dusty was like kind of like my mantra. And I'm like, why don't we just make that our crew, our label or whatever? And that we kind of ran with it. We had a decent run with it, but um
See, I didn't
yeah,
know that you came up with that. I always loved that name. It just fits so good.
yeah, it I got the name from a mad mix called Feel Kind of Cloud, and I switched out Cloudy for Dusty, just to tie back to getting your fingers dusty, digging through records or whatever. So that that kind of stuck.
Was
I
that
wish
Oh, go ahead.
I kind of wish I kept it for myself because that was such a cool name. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, but you're right, it's more of a collective rather than, like, one person.
Right.
Getting to that moment, what were you doing prior to that? Had you already had some mixtapes out, or were you just, like, hanging out locally? Were your beats even out there yet?
Not really. Maybe a little via uh in the MySpace days. Uh I
MySpace?
yeah, that's how I met E because I think I
Wait,
went to
before you go, your audio's a little choppy. Maybe a cord's loose or something? Are you using Bluetooth?
I'm using this microphone right here. Hear me?
Mm, yeah, it was just kinda maybe a cord's loose or something because it was kinda chopping in and out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's way better.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's all
Um
good. You were
um
just going off on MySpace.
yeah, so this was back in the MySpace days. This is how I met E Real. So there used to be a skate shop in Worcester called Concrete Wave. There
I remember.
so at Concrete Wave, I think somebody handed me a mixtape called The Haymaker, I believe, and there was all these kind of local rappers on. And there was a standout track that Either Real did, and it was so dope. And I was still kind of like early on to making beats. I think I started making beats 2002. So this was like right after high school for me, 2005, 2006, maybe, or 11, or maybe a little after. But anyways, I got in touch with Either Real via MySpace because I loved one of the songs that he did a lot. We got together, started making music in a group called Night People with another producer. And through that, we developed Socialite Sounds with a couple other people. But then that obviously to shit. Um, am I frozen?
Yeah, you're frozen.
Mm. I think it's my give me 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, we can even like pause this one and then refresh it and see if that fixes the audio and the video.
How's that?
Okay, you're back and your audio is so much better.
Okay. All right. Um, what was I?
I was trying to focus in so good, but it was like dipping in and out, and I was like, this software is pretty cool. Like it does fix a lot of audio issues, but dude, your sound has speed now. It's better.
All right, cool. Um, so what's the last thing you remember me saying?
Yeah, either real. I didn't know he was a local person. I thought he was from New York for some reason.
He was from the Worcester area, I think Shrewsbury, but then while we were working on music or whatever, he lived in Boston. He would kind of go back and forth. And we had our crew, we did a ton of like lead shows and stuff like that. But eventually it went to shit like most rap crews do or whatever. And we started working with P and Louie and Kenny, and that was the thing for a while. We had a decent run too. We did shows. I think we re-released one. Was it one project? Uh, this project called Wall Street, where me, P, did production on it. Louie rapped on it. Kenny rapped on it. We did a couple singles, and then, like always, this went to shit. So, um, at that point, I started making music with Louis alone, and then kind of releasing my own beat tapes. Every now and then, I would produce for someone else outside of the state. Um, and then things kind of progress. More people knew who I was. Um, but it never really got past like a high level where I could kind of do it as my sole source of income. But I've always done it, and it's like a gift and a curse. I always will. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, So growing up, were the hobbies always music, or did you do something and then find, how did you discover beat making?
So when I was first of all, I was born in New York. I lived there until I was 11 or 12,
Oh, cool.
and then my parents moved to Marlborough, which was it was a culture shock to say the least. But before then, I didn't. I played the trumpet in like fifth grade, stuff like that. Music was always kind of prevalent. My parents didn't have like a really big record collection, but my moms would listen to the radio to like listen to like the classic hits like Phil Collins, um, Huey Lewis in the News and shit like that. Um, I didn't really get into music myself until my brother put me on to not hip hop per se, because I knew what hip hop was or whatever, but I didn't really care about it until I started listening to the score by the Fugees.
Solid.
And it's funny because I don't know if you know the comedian Zach Galifianakis. He has a comedy special where he fakes having a twin brother, and he said the thing that they connected over was the Fugees, the score album. I need to find that special, but it's hilarious. But that's what kind of like sparked it off as at least me wanting to at least kind of be a part of it in some way. I didn't know how. I didn't know it was going to be production. Um, at one point, I wanted to be a journalist and like write for like the Source or something like that.
Cool.
But then there was a moment in middle school where I was staying over in my uncle's house, and he had Ready to Die on CD. I stole it, um, and it was like the first time I was kind of listening to it at that time, or like really taking it in. I was, of course, I knew who Biggie was or whatever, but this was me like actually taking in the Ready to Die album, and it kind of sparked something in me that was like, how is this music made? Like, who is making these beats? Like, what are they doing? Like I knew they were using other people's records, but like how? What is a MPC? What is a SP 1200? And I think specifically there were two songs on that album that really like made me, I guess, started my production journey. It was Everyday Struggle and Unbelievable. I think Everyday Struggle was Easy Mo Beats, and Unbelievable was obviously DJ Premier, who's like in my top three forever. Um, so that was like really like the kickoff for me. So at that time, I would have to. My brother was into hip hop, but he wasn't really into like going back and looking up like the past or like the the vets and shit like that. But I got obsessed and started like going back to like BDP, Public Enemy, um, the Juice Crew, things like that. I wanted to know as much as I could. Um, Early boot camp click stuff.
You're bringing back your flooded memories to me because I remember the exact moment I kind of fell in love with hip hop, but it was more R&B, and it was like early 90s driving in a Jeep with my aunt, like an old school Jeep, and she was playing Jammin' 94.5.
My God.
And I'm hearing these like R&B hits after hit, and I was like, "What is this, Auntie? What channel?" And I'm looking 94.5.
Right.
So at home, I had a cassette player with a microphone on it, like a Fisher Price one. So me and my sisters started listening to Jammin' 94.5 on repeat and recording songs to the cassette. And then we were making like radio shows. Like we would pretend to be the radio hosts, and then we would queue up and wait for like a Mariah Carey song to
Yeah.
come on. And then when it came on, I'd be hitting record real quick because we just did a little intro.
Yeah.
And then I remember my brother had a pretty extensive like rock collection of CDs, rock CDs, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Lifehouse. But he had Snoop Dogg's first album. I can't think of the name of it.
Doggy Style.
Doggy Style. He had that, and I was like, "What is this?" And I listened to it, and I was probably young. I shouldn't have been listening to it, but
Right.
I was like, "Okay, that's like I fell in love with that style of music." Um, yeah, a- and I still go back to the classics more often than listening to new music. Like Paul actually got me a Boogie Downs production vinyl. You know, like
Nice.
some of the old KRS-One
Yeah.
lyrical things is like always fun to go back to.
Yeah, because it's like those were such like formative years that kind of stick with you. It's like high school, like really like intense experiences are happening in your life or whatever. You're growing through shit, puberty, fucking dating or whatever. That was the soundtrack to all that shit.
Well, my soundtrack for that was like Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory, Slim Shady LP, Capone and Noriega, like those. That was my like 13-year-old. And then yeah, when I was little and had like a Sony Walkman,
Yeah.
it was like Guns N' Roses and like Snoop Dogg and the Chronic. Well, the Chronic, yeah, the first Chronic, and
Yeah.
then Chronic 2001 was like puberty years. But yeah, so what was the first machine you got? Was it an SP or was it a turntable?
So, to kind of go back to that journey of like kind of discovering producing or whatever, um, I'm listening to all this shit, getting inspired, and then I listened to Madlib for the first time, and that kind of completely blew my mind. I think it was I've listened to the Loop Pack before, but there was this album that he produced for someone named Dudley Perkins called A Little Light. It was described in an Herb magazine. I don't know if you remember Herb magazine. It was described
Like
as
herb, like
yeah.
weed?
It was like
I don't
it
I don't
was
remember.
it was URB. It was supposed to be like urban music or whatever. But the description for the record was D'Angelo meets Old Dirty Bastard, produced by Madlib. So it would be like after school or whatever in high school. I would check out stonesthrow.com, watch whatever music videos they had, and they had a music video for a song called Money. And it blew my fucking mind. I was like obsessed. A little after that, he did the Mad Villain record, which is like a top 5 dead or alive or like desert island record for me. And I heard that he produced that whole record or most of it on a machine called the SP303. It was like this cheap $300 sampler. As soon as I heard that, I had like a little shitty dishwasher job or whatever. As soon as I heard what he used, I saved up my money and I got one. I had like a little turntable set up, shitty Newmark mixer and turntables, and I would kind of go like around to like my neighbors' houses and be like, "Oh, do you have records that you don't listen to anymore? I'll take them off your hands." And I would sample it was all types of bullshit. Like a lot of people around Marlborough, like fucking John Denver for some reason. It was a ton of John Denver records, but I would sample those records and try to make beats. So the first machine I had was an SP303. And around that time, a friend of mine, we used to skip school all the time to go to Newbury Comics to buy whatever CDs or latest 12-inch or whatever. And I met the first person that I started making music with one of those days that I skipped school. He went by the name The Molecule. He was very
Sick name. I like that name.
Yep. He was very influenced by like Def Jux, Aesop Rock, Anticon, Galapagos 4 type of stuff, which was dope because it was like super different. I don't know if you're familiar with like stuff that came out around that time from Def Jux. Like Aesop Rock was really influential.
I heard one album from him because I was in a record club and they sent me one.
Yep.
But the other groups I haven't heard of.
Aesop Rock. LP was LP's label, Def Jux, and LP is like the other half of Run the Jewels. So he was a part of that. But it was like a long lineage of like super underground hip hop that you would only hear on do you remember 88.9 at night, like ERS? It was a college station from Emerson. Emerson.
Okay, no.
Emerson College was they had a radio station. I think they still do have the radio station, but they don't have the hip hop show anymore. But this was the show where you could listen to stuff that you would never hear on Jammer 94.5. You would hear your KRS-One, but you would hear your super underground. This is where you would hear Mos Def. This is where you would hear Talib Kweli, Immortal Technique, all those types of like early 2000s underground hip hop. Mr. Liff, Acrobatic, the local shit, Sevlin and Esoteric, who are Czarface now, but that's where you went to like find like the good shit. There was
I used to listen to Holy Cross Radio.
Yeah.
But I mean, they played eclectically, like a lot of like indie, and I don't ever remember them playing hip hop, but they probably do.
Yeah, but this was like, if you were an underground head in Massachusetts at that time, you listened to 88.9 because this is where you kind of either got a chance to listen to it, got a chance to discover it, got a chance to find out where the shows were at the Middle East, Western Front, shit like that. 88.9 was like the fucking mecca, and it was such a dope time because you had Jammy 94.5 or whatever, but they would play the same shit all day. 88.9, you would learn about so much dope hip hop, whether it was from out of state or local. And Boston had such a dope hip hop scene back in the early 2000s. Um, like I said, Mr. Liff, Acrobatic, um, a group called Schizophrenics, E-Dawn, 7L and Esoteric, of course, and many, many others. But um, I think without if I never got hip to WERS 88.9 at night, I don't think I'd make the music that I make today. If I did, it would sound completely different. So,
Yeah. When was like the first time you like put together a collection of beats and had people listen to them? Or what was the first, do you still have some of those old beats? And like, what do you think, when was like the first one that you thought was, uh, amazing?
so I used to, I used to, when I had my SP303, I would record those beats straight to cassette, but there would be like these shitty loops, me hitting these pads or whatever. I eventually moved from the SP to Fruity Loops, and I would start making beats in Fruity Loops, and I would post them online on like do you remember SoundClick? SoundCloud's now, but there used to be a website called SoundClick where you would post your music or whatever and have people check it out or buy it, and it was like the shittiest of shitty beats ever. I would get
What, yours or the other people's beats?
mine.
You mean you didn't just come out producing hits like from day one?
Unfortunately, no. And I would post this music thinking I was the shit, and I would get humbled so quickly. Like, this is garbage. And rightfully so, because it was trash. But
Me and my buddy Lewis, we used to we started making beats on Fruity Loops too, on like a hacked version, and then we ended up buying the producer edition, which is cool because you still lifetime updates. And we would make like 10, 12 beats, and then we would burn a CD and go in the car and just crank it and just start cracking up because they weren't good. They were like
right.
funny commercial like beats. We didn't know what we were doing.
Right.
I
You're just using all these like shitty stock sounds or whatever. You don't know how to sample. You don't know what drums to use, and Jesus Christ. Like I'm
I'll
telling you.
send you the link. I made like a fake radio show with ChatGPT maybe like 6 months ago, and I found like I wanted to do like a fake radio show, and then I played some of those funny old beats as the radio music, and I would ask ChatGPT like, "Hey, create a description for this song." So it was like writing me all this like copy, and I was just reading it live.
Yeah.
I think you'll get a kick out of like the beats.
Man, like I'll never let people listen to those first beats I ever made.
No, you got to. That'd be awesome.
Like, oh God, there were so. I think I might have a CD with some of them on it. God, Jesus Christ! If you look deep enough, you might find the SoundClick.
Oh, it's still an active site?
It might be. If I pray to God it's not, but it might be.
Would
But
it be under DJ Manipulator or your old moniker?
no, it'd be under DJ Manipulator, because DJ Manipulator is kind of the only moniker I had. So the way we came up with, first of all, the Molecule came up with that name. We were at his house, getting ready for a show that we were doing. I was DJing for him, and he's like, "Dude, you need a DJ name." And we kept thinking of things, and he just out of nowhere, he's like, "DJ Manipulator." He's like, "That sounds sick." Um, and at the time, I was like, yeah, that's all right for now, but I didn't really like it at all. But I never came up with another one, so it stuck.
Nice. That's like Mr. Beast. You just got that Mr. Beast tag auto-generated and he became Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I at first, like, I really kind of fucking hated it, but then people kept saying it was cool or whatever, and I'm just like, I'm like, fine, I'll stick with it. But now, yeah, I can't fucking change it now. But
How do you go from just like, I guess it's progressive, right? You got the SP303, you're starting to learn how to sequence and, use a confusing machine, that those machines are not easy.
right.
Um, and then you probably went into the Fruity Loops dash and you're starting to learn all that. Were you starting to mix in Fruity Loops, or like how did you start incorporating vocals into what you were doing?
So, I started incorporating vocals by doing remixes of other people's songs, and I would do like getting the levels right or whatever in Cool Edit Pro. I don't know if you remember Cool Edit Pro. It's like what Adobe has, Adobe Audition. Before that, it was called Cool Edit Pro. And it was I just like bootlegged it or whatever, downloaded off of Kazaa or some shit. And started learning to, because I heard that Ninth Wonder um would mix, not like Ninth Wonder and his crew, like Justice League, they would mix songs in Cool Edit Pro. So I'm like, this must be it. And it was like my first time kind of editing, mixing, putting things together, um, making sure levels were right or whatever. I mean, I sucked at the time, but it was like a great learning experience for sure.
Nice. And, fast forward to the future here. Recently, you got to work with Skyzoo, right?
Yeah. So that's my brother for sure. We have a couple songs under our belt actually. Um
How did you link up with him? Did he find you? Did you are you guys mutual friends from the past?
so the way I linked up with him was through a homie of mine. Um why is the name not coming up? Um Explicit One, who was a producer around the way from Boston. He's more of an entrepreneur now, but Explicit One was really cool with him, and Skyzoo came to town and he needed a DJ. Explicit One thought of me and said, "Yo, you know Skyzoo?" And I'm like, "Of course I know Skyzoo. I'm a fan." Like, well, he needs a DJ for this gig. It was like a cannabis festival in Boston, like at that skate park that's like under the ramps or whatever. I think it might be by the Zakum. But anyways, he needed a DJ. I DJ'd the show for him. Um, and I kind of became his DJ when he came out in this area. Um, Another dude who was kind of instrumental in me producing for him was my man Easy Money. Uh, Anytime Skyzoo was out here, Easy Money would be in his ear like, "Yo, when you're gonna do a joint with Manip, you got beats, blah blah blah." And I would text Skyzoo occasionally like, "Hey man, how's it going? What's happening? What are you working on?" And he was like, one day he was like, "Yeah, I'm working on a couple things." Like I'm like, "I got beats, I can send you some shit." So I sent him some stuff, and he picked three, three or four, but three made it on the was it four? Four, three or four made it on Keep Me Company, um, which was the first record I produced on for him. I think it's like four songs that we did. So that's kind of the beginning of our journey. And then, we became like good friends. Um, we pretty much talked to him like once a week. And
That's awesome.
yeah. So we have
How that just like organically happened.
Yeah, yeah, it happened like the best way possible. It wasn't forced at all. Like, don't get me wrong, I wanted to work with him since forever, but the way it happened was, was possibly the best possible way it could happen because, like you said, it was completely organic. He's the homie. We don't just talk about music. We talk about regular life shit. Um, and anytime I need help with something or connecting the dots or whatever, he's more than willing to help me. And anytime he needs anything from me, then it's the same way. So, he's a good friend of mine, and I'm honored to be able to call him a friend.
I mean, you guys make beautiful music together. It's like
Yeah.
really inspiring, when I listen to that album. Or what's the newest album called?
Um, the newest one is Views of a Lifetime.
Is that, and you're on that also, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm on there twice.
That's the one I listened to is newest, and I'll have to go back and listen to those others. I didn't know you were on those too. Um, a question I always wonder is, so when you go and DJ for an artist, do they give you all the instrumentals? Are you like live playing their set list and they're rapping over what you're playing on your turntable?
Yep. They send me the instrumentals or whatever.
Not on vinyl. This is like digital.
Yeah, I use Serato.
Okay.
But
DJ software.
yeah, yeah. So they'll send me the instrumentals. Um, you know,
Are you live scratching and transitioning from song to song? Do you kind of pause because they like to talk in between songs, or do you talk about that beforehand?
we talk about it beforehand, but it's all live. He, for instance, Skyzoo might say, "I want to do this, this, and this. I want to pause for a minute, take a break, talk to the crowd, see how they're feeling. We'll get into these two songs. We'll do an acapella here, and then we'll end it with this, something like that. But it's always all live. Mm,
That's cool.
And and if there's cuts or whatever I'm doing, that's all live too. So
They do like a mic check before to make sure everything's leveled out, I'm guessing. And
yeah, they usually do a sound check. Um, we've done it every time we've done it the Middle East. Yeah, every time I've played with them, we do a sound check for sure.
cool. I'm always like curious about the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
What's the most complicated piece of gear you use in your setup? Machine?
To be honest, it's my fucking computer. The computer is the most complicated, annoying part of everything because I've had shows where it kind of shits the bed, um, losing files, things like that. Machine, my mixer, if it's connected to Serato, is just controlling everything that's in the fucking computer, which is the brain of everything. So I'd say the computer, to be honest.
Oh, because unlike the old hardware, machine is strictly fed sounds from your software on your computer.
Correct. At least the one I have. There is a standalone version, but it's like
Big money.
it's stupid expensive, and I like my workflow between using the controller and going back and forth to the computer. So I stick with it. I do have an SP 404 that's completely standalone. So if I wanted to make beats without looking at a computer, I can just use this. Um there's a screen. Like if I move this really quick. So here's my SB 404. If I want to chop things, I can pull up a waveform, things like that. I could zoom in, tighten it up, loosen it up, things like that. Um, but yeah, if I wanted to make beats without looking at a computer, which I do sometimes, just to like get out of my own head or whatever, stop looking at a screen like this. I'll make beats on the SP404. It's like the grown up version of the beat machine I first started making beats with, the SP303.
So when you're in the 404 and you make like a, I don't know, like a loop, do you then feed it into machine and add from there?
No, I know people do it that way, but when it's like when I do anything in here, I like to keep it in here. If I record it to anything, it's gonna be like a straight up cassette, like a actual cassette tape. Um,
Oh, so when you're like making beats on your live and you're using Machine, you've created all the loops in the Machine?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. But if I'm making beats on here, it's it's almost like a therapeutic type of deal. Um, get away from the computer. It's a whole different type of approach to actually making beats. You got to kind of figure out how to make the machine work for you. There's no keyboard for bass lines or whatever. Um, and you only can do so much, so you got to be creative with the time that you have. So, um, here it's like, you know, if I get overwhelmed with using the machine or whatever, I'll come here and just for a whole different kind of approach, switch things up, shit like that.
Did you have any influences in like high school? Was anyone pushing you to do this? Maybe just that guy you met at Newberry Comics? Were you a part of like a music program at school or
N It was nothing at school. School fucking sucked, especially when I moved to, Massachusetts. When I was in New York, I was a part of the band, played the trumpet for years. Um, that was kind of the most inspiring as far as music goes for school for me. And it was dope too. It was so much fun. And then we end up moving to Massachusetts. I tried to like audition for the band or whatever, but um, it was so different. In New York, we're playing like Stevie Wonder songs, Aretha Franklin, shit like that. When I came here, they're playing like um, Killer Joe or some shit like that. It was
late?
awful, and I'm just like, I can't do this shit. So
Yeah, they need to make the arts more incorporated or like
there wasn't
get
there was
kids
no
off
soul. There
campus.
there was no soul in it whatsoever. It was super stiff, and I'm just like, I can't do this. So I got out of band and kind of kept to myself for the most part when it came to music or social shit in high school for the most part. Um, because it sucked. That's like the nicest way I could put it. It it sucked, and the only thing I had to get through all that shit was hip hop music. So
I felt the same way. I was just messing up at school and luckily I found uh like a mentor in a way, a dance teacher. My sisters were doing a play at when I was in like 5th grade or 6th grade and I was waiting for my sisters, but the director kept making me fill in and like telling me, "Oh, I need you to be in this production. I don't have like getting me involved without me knowing it." And then all of a sudden, I was like really into performing in theater and like I enrolled in dance the next year. I was tap dancing and doing jazz, and all my friends are like, "Bro, you quitting playing sports?" I wasn't even that good at sports, anyways.
right,
You know. Uh, and it's just like that's how I found my way to like creativity, and then obviously when music got involved and then I started making videos because it's like making beats
right,
or any type of sequence of a series of things is a sequence of things. And yeah, you're not really when you're making music too, if you're just sequencing stuff, you're just like you said, you get like a feeling, it's soulful or it's
right,
jazzy or it's more feeling based. Like even I'm not a great guitar player, but when I start to loop things, I can like layer stuff
right,
and then I get a feeling of, oh, this is what this is type of vibe it is, but it doesn't come before, it comes after when you start putting it all together.
right. Like it's like the greatest thing ever. Like being able to like create music or like make beats or whatever. It's therapeutic. It's amazing. It's the shit. Like I can't really find other ways to like describe how dope or important it is to me because it's like breathing at this point. You know, if I don't, you know, if I don't do something creative for a while, then it's like Why wake up?
I feel that. I'm a hobby master. Like I need to have a million hobbies
Right.
and somewhat new ones too often, you know.
Right.
I feel like I'm still searching for that specific niche or hobby. It's just I just I don't even know what it is. I just like to do the new things once in a while. And every now and then again I go back to making beats.
Right.
Not at your level, but like the therapeutic level, you know,
Right.
like
Eh,
throw Fruity Loops on or get the new Logic Pro going.
you gotta get that creativity out somehow, whether it's beats, uh, videography, editing, something. As long as you're getting it out in like a healthy way, then it's a beautiful thing.
Um, what are your thoughts on Summit? He's pretty new in Worcester. Seems to be doing pretty well for himself. Have you heard his music with technology and
Well,
what he's got going on?
with terminology,
Terminology, yeah, not
yeah.
technology.
I didn't know he was from Worcester. Um,
Ma- his manager is. I just assumed he was. I don't know.
who's his manager?
Danny DiRoberto.
Uh,
He owns DiRoberto property management. I think it's called.
Interesting. Um,
He's like the P Diddy producer. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I can't. You can't say that now, huh? You can't compare.
no,
Hey, I might not like P Diddy, but I like that Press Play album. That shit was like '80s funky freestyle music. I was like, yo, this album's good.
I don't think I ever heard
And
that album.
and check Press Play out by Diddy. I think it's his best album.
I'm
He's getting real funky on it. It is a little weird now that everything's come out.
right, but
Oh my god, please listen to it and tell me what you think. I hope
w-
you like it. It
w-
is fresh, dude.
we'll see. No guarantees, but we'll see. But I did hear the record that Summit did with Terminology, and I think it was really dope. Um, but I didn't know he was potentially from Worcester, and I didn't know his manager. I'm so out of the loop in shit in Worcester in general. I keep to myself for the most part. I may go out to Boston, or I have like a select few of people I make music with now, but I'm so out of the loop. It's not even funny. I don't know what the fuck is going on in Worcester. I'm sure there's a ton of dope stuff that I don't know about, but I'm in my little box. I go to work, I come home, I make my beats, I do a show here and there. That's pretty much it.
Why don't you so when you do a you did a vinyl set recently?
Yeah, that was for a good friend of mine, Loman. He's the program manager at Central On Air, where they have DJs come through, do hour-long sets. And I was like, fuck it, why don't I just do one? It'd be fun. And it was a really good time too. It came out really dope. I had fun doing that. So,
Is it a eclectic mix of music or
yeah, yeah, it's all types of shit. Um, when I when I got there to do my set, there was these kids playing like this crazy dance music, and like it was almost like an episode of Boiler Room, just kids like dancing everywhere and having a good time. The DJs going off, whatever. But I've heard EDM on it, hip hop, of course, funk, jazz, all vinyl sets, whether it's CDJs, digital, whatever. They let people just do their thing and express themselves. So yeah,
do,
it's really dope.
do you incorporate your own music or is it strictly just DJing songs?
For this one, I did this strictly an all vinyl set, but next time I do it, I do want to do a beat set. That's all just production from me. Um, when I do my sets or whatever, it's either a beat set that I do off the SP, because I perform with this too, or I'll do like an all vinyl set with joints that I go digging a lot for records, so a lot of breaks, jazz, soul, psychedelic rock, or whatever, just funky shit that I find or whatever to play. So
Cool. Um, you doing IT during the day? IT still?
Yep. Um, I'm I'm like the IT manager at a place in Holden now. Um, I won't say the name or whatever the place, but it's I I like the job, but of course I'd rather be making music or whatever. But it's steady job. I work with good people, and it allows me to be able to do this shit after I get off of work. So yeah,
When you performed at the Palladium with Lou, um, you opened for Joyner, right?
we've performed there twice. Once we opened for Joyner, and then once we opened for Method Man and Redman.
Did you get to hang out with them? Are they like down to earth, cool people?
We were, it, it wasn't really like hanging out. We would just say our piece or whatever and kind of keep it
It's work.
moving. Keep it moving. We don't. At least I didn't want to like bother them or whatever. You know, it comes off like kind of being like a
They're just
group.
people like everyone else, you know?
Exactly. I don't want to
If
come
it
off
organically happens that you're gonna be hanging out for a little cool, and if not,
right.
whatever.
Exactly. And I don't want to come off as a groupie or whatever. There was plenty of that around to begin with, so I didn't need to add to it.
How uncomfortable is groupie love with all a bunch of dudes?
Oh my god.
Oh, I guess it was females. There
There
must
was
have been girls there too.
yeah, there was girls there too.
But
Uh
I could see, people. I mean, you're trying to break into the industry, and there's someone there who's made it for
right.
20, 30 years. It's like, it's like, do I shoot my shot?
It just reeks of desperation. Um I just try not to be around it as much as possible, but at the same time, I get it. I understand. Um if you're going to shoot your shot, shoot it, I guess. Um just hopefully it doesn't come off corny, but most of the time it does. And
You should have made a chain with all your cassettes on it. It's
right.
like, listen, and then they're like, dude, how am I even going to listen to this cassette?
And then I pull out the Walkman.
Boombox.
Exactly.
I want to get my kids a boombox and some cassettes, because you could go on eBay and start getting like old Ninja Turtle soundtracks, or like the Bodyguard soundtrack, like old Boys to Men, just like let them listen to music in their room
Yeah.
versus, I don't want to get them like a phone or something.
Are you gonna get your kids do they have turntables, or are you gonna get your kids a turntable?
I'm, my goal is to, when we upgrade our home, I want to get another duplex, but we need another bedroom because we have 3 kids and only 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
We could finish the basement, but the house is really kind of a starter home, and it's small.
Yeah.
And but my ultimate goal would be to have a couple more bedrooms, and I want a room where, I mean, we'll have like a orange rug and like green chairs, no TV in there, and just my turntable, and just like a music room, but
Yeah.
also have like magazines and books.
Yeah.
A place you can just go in and put music on, read, maybe paint, draw, anything that, play music, play guitar, anything that's like a way. No technology allowed.
Right. That's
Only like chill vibes and
gotcha.
creativity.
Yeah. Start them off with the boombox at first, and when you guys move, you can gradually get that record collection going, and all those cassettes and the boombox in that room. That'd be really dope.
They love making beats. I bring out the MIDI pad and the keyboard. I
Nice.
load them. I load them each up. I'll load one up on drums and one up on synths or something.
Nice. Yeah, you got to start them early, man.
But it's a learning curve, because if you don't play around in that space for a while, I'm like, how do I channel one to
Right.
this MIDI pad and channel
Right.
2 to this one, and like they're both, and if you shut one off and then now they're both playing the same sound,
Yep.
so it's like I almost need to, the night before, remember how to do everything so that they're not sitting there getting impatient.
Yeah, but soon enough, they're going to learn how to do it on their own, and they'll be doing it. If they love it enough, they'll be doing it every single day. So they'll be teaching you how to do it, and that'll be fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
I always say, like, yeah, if my kid wants to play in the Fruity Loops, I'd rather him do that than like go on YouTube or something. I'll support that all day. If
Yeah.
he can learn how to load up tracks and play with MIDI keys and like record sounds and loop stuff, that's amazing.
Right,
I'm
right.
that's a positive use of technology.
For sure. I don't have kids of my own, but I have two nieces, and um, I wish I had the time to teach them how to make beats or whatever. But um, it is what it is. But yeah, pass it to your kids as soon as possible. You know.
Yeah, because then we could do it together. He could be over there, I could be over here.
Yep,
Little free time, playtime.
for sure.
Did you release you shared Graham Jams 3 or 4? You shared a project with me. Is that out yet?
Not yet. So the plan is to release it on Skyzoo's label. But we're still trying to hammer out the details. I mean, the project's done. I just want to lock down a date
I got
to
the
release.
bootleg on my Kazaa account. If anybody wants it, I'll send them the link.
Yeah, but we're just trying to figure out a release date, and once we get that locked down, then we could start promoting it or whatever. But yeah, that's
Nice. What's his label called?
uh FGR, First Generation Rich, and then the main label is Hypnot Records. So
Is that what like a music attorney recommends now? Is like you just put it out on your own label, so you own your own publishing. If I'm using that terminology right,
yeah, yeah, just so as much comes back to you as possible.
it's almost like setting up a business. If you're in music, they probably you hire an attorney and they'll set your business up so that it makes sense.
Right, right. Especially like a business type of lawyer or a music type of lawyer who knows publishing, splits, things like that. It's a whole complicated fucking mess, and it's good to hire somebody who does that just so you don't because sometimes it gets in the way of creativity. All this,
When you put stuff out on like YouTube, have you ever saw someone like what happens if you put a beat out and someone really likes it and they want to add it to a tape? How does that work? Do they have to give you credit or can they just take it because it's already on the internet?
so what you can do is when you're uploading it to whatever streaming platform or like whatever distribution that you use, you could set it to where if someone uploads your song and they don't tell you and the algorithm detects it, they'll either
DistroKid or some
yeah,
software
yeah.
like that?
They'll
Okay.
they'll either get a strike or you'll make money off it and the person who used your song won't because they used your song. So
That'd be sick. Go ahead, use my stuff.
yeah, but and you don't even have to like talk to them or whatever. It's like go ahead, use my song, but I'm taking some of your money. Um so that's happened to me not often, a couple times, but it's like fucking fractions of a penny or whatever.
I steal your beats all the time and just rap in my basement.
I mean, are you making money off it in the basement?
No, I'm scaring people.
Then you're more than welcome to go off.
I'll send you a rap one day when I get a good one down. Because I used to joke I wanted to make a rap album when I turned 40.
Man,
But not in the way of like, I'm gonna make a rap album and become a rapper, in a way that it's like, how creative is it to come up with a concept and write, lyrics and come up with hooks and like vibe with beats that and try to tell a story. Even, is it even if it's not good, it's like the whole I kind of wanted to film it too. Like, can Rich Marks the Spot make a rap, make a couple rap songs?
right.
Like not being a rapper, but like being a creative person and not fearing the judgment that people would give you for making a song,
Yeah. And
whatever comes out comes out.
and it would be interesting to just like you're saying you're making a rap record at 40. What's your perspective? Your your You're not a rapper, one. You're a regular guy who does regular things. What's that sound like in the form of a rap record?
Well, it I do kinda have some poetry that I wrote inspired by I used to wait tables with this guy, Alan, and he would always be writing on the receipt paper. So I was like, "What are you writing, man?" And he's like, "Oh, I like rap a little bit." And I was like, "Hey, I make beats." So obviously we connected,
Yeah.
and he would just come over after a shift and just I would just play beats for hours and he would just rap and write. And then I was like, "I'm gonna try to write songs for you." So I started writing poetry, and it really when you're a waiter, you're waiting like an hour and a half for customers to come in sometimes. So I just started writing them, and then I started calling it the receipt scrolls, because we just had these long receipt scrolls of writing,
That's awesome.
and I saved them all. So, and that was the plan. It was like, all right, I'm going to use those at some point in the future. So, yeah, it's not really what I'm doing now, more so than what I was feeling back then. You know, I went to college at 25. I went and got my master's degree, and I was super depressed
Yeah.
after my last master's class, because I was like, damn, I'm in a lot of debt, and this didn't change my life at all
Yeah.
for the negative. So I was still waiting tables until I kind of find, an avenue.
Right. So you can take
So
all those pieces from that time and then take a piece from this poem, take a piece from that poem, and then put together like these whole songs.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
why?
I could.
Why not?
Yeah. Once in a while, I revisit the idea, and I was like, it would be so much fun. But I'm not making an excuse, but like life happens too. I mean, I
Right.
have the microphone and the iMac right there, just ready to go when I want to do the project. I even have a guy I met through Fiverr who like mixes and masters stuff,
Yeah.
and he's in Hungary, and
Wow.
he's nasty at playing bass. So he's like, "Yeah, anytime you wanna like send me the beat and the audio, I'll try to improve it a little bit and mix it for you."
Yeah. Hey,
But I just haven't got around to it.
I know you're busy, man. You got kids, you have work, so I understand things getting in the way.
No excuses though. If you're gonna do something, just do it. You know what I mean? Focus on it for a month and get
Yeah.
something together.
Yeah. Sometimes, I get that way too. Like I'm busy, I get home from work, I'm fucking exhausted. Sometimes I just want to straight up take a nap and then not wake up until tomorrow. But you know, it's you have to fall in love with the process in order to continue, especially at this age, um, 39, 40, whatever. You have to absolutely love it. Because if you don't, it's like, why am I doing this? I'm just wasting my time. I could be doing something else. I could be working another job. I could be getting money somehow. I could be sleeping. I could be relaxing. I could be playing video games. But you have to love this music stuff. And you can't expect anything else from it except to enjoy yourself, have a good time, express yourself or whatever. Especially
Yeah,
at
you
this
could
age.
you could tell through the music too. Like you could listen to your stuff and tell that you got a passion for it, because it's unique. It's your own take on the genre.
Right.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Well done, man.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it. I'm actually about
As far as
to make beats in a few minutes.
nice. My my screen went blank again, but I can see you in my monitor and I can see that we're recording still.
Okay.
So when we hop off, I'm not going to shut my computer. I'm going to try to get my mouse to click stop recording, and it should automatically do it.
Okay.
Um, and then don't shut your device down right away. It'll upload to the cloud. And I guess that's how it works.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
I do. You good for one more question?
Yeah. 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 For sure.
I wanted to know what do you see in the future? Are there any artists are looking to work with? Are you open to ideas if like a young kid wants to reach out to you? And how does the process work? Just have them send you some songs they made, or, link up?
I don't know. Will I continue making music? For sure. Um, Sometimes I see it being on a bigger scale than what I'm doing now because even though it's been really slow or whatever, whether it's due to not working with people anymore or my own fault, anything I've done or the trajectory or whatever, it's always been a level above what I've done in the past. So maybe I'll get to a point where um I don't have to work a regular job anymore. I don't know. Um, but I'll always make music. If I make music with someone new, uh, it's always going to be organic. Someone sending me music or whatever may not be the right way to do it, but if I meet someone at a show or something, or you have a friend that I'm good friends with and they vouch for you and I check out the stuff, and it's always going to be an organic process. I don't want anything, especially at this age, I'm not doing anything that makes it feel like I'm forced to do something I don't want to do just to get to another place. So it'll always be organic. Um, but at the end of the day, I love this shit for better or for worse. So I'm always gonna make music.
Nice.
So
Are you married?
no, but I have a girlfriend I've been with for 13 years.
Oh, awesome. Does she like making music or like listening to it?
She enjoys listening to my music when I let her. Um, but she doesn't make music, which is fine. I kind of prefer it that way because it might get a little annoying to be honest, having someone else trying to make music in the same household. Um, but
Oh man, my wife hates when I make beats. She's like, "What the? Can you stop playing the same shit over and over and over again?"
it's the exact opposite. She's super supportive, comes out to the shows, listens to the release. If she's at work, she'll tune into the live stream on YouTube or whatever. But she's super supportive of what I do. So I'm
I gotta
very
tune in
lucky.
more to the. But your live streams are usually at night, right?
Right. And man, I haven't done it in weeks because I'm either busy or I'm just fucking exhausted.
Yeah, but like if I'm in the a flow state at work, I feel like the live would be nice to put on and just have it in the background going while I'm like in a flow state designing or
Right.
working through some marketing stuff.
Right. But yeah, unfortunately it's always at night because I have a regular ass job. But I will come back to streaming again. Probably I feel like I was thinking about doing it next week because I'll have some time. So I'll probably come back to the stream next week. I'll announce it before, of course. But I've been like I worked on a couple projects. One that's coming out next week actually with Easy Money. It's called I'll grab a city. It's called 01830, the zip code for Haverhill, which is where he's from.
Oh, so
Well, the autofocus is bad on this camera, but so we're putting this out. We're selling copies right now, but it drops on streaming services the 20th. But been working on this for a while, so that's done. And after that,
do you just make the beat and then pass it off, or do you mix the vocals too?
we
Or
we mix the vocals together at a studio. Um,
what's your favorite studio you ever been to? Like, is it often you go to one, or is
it,
it more
it's
like home
it's
studios?
it's more home. It's I guess like my house is my favorite studio, but we mix the vocals for these at Wonka Sound in Lowell, which is where like Terminology does a lot of his stuff, a whole lot of like ST, uh the like Terminology's label, his crew, whatever, they record and mix over there a lot. So we mixed a decent amount of this album there.
When you go into a studio, do they help you record, or do they just give you free access to everything? And how do you know where to go, and what is it like software you can recognize?
There's an engineer there who's helping us for sure. I mean, if I had to go to a studio and figure it out myself, I could. I went to I don't know if you remember when AI was around, but I went to it was the Art Institute of Massachusetts or whatever. But I went there for a while for audio production. The school ended up closing down, but I learned enough to be able to kind of man a board by myself. So if I had to, then I could. But I'm more of the home studio kind of guy for sure.
Cool. All right, where can people follow you if they want to check your stuff out?
Um, Instagram at Dusty Manip, uh, DUSTYMANIP. Same thing on Twitter, but I don't use Twitter because Twitter is a social toilet and I hate it.
I wish I had a sound effect like a blah, blah.
Yeah, it's actually like I fucking hate Twitter. YouTube, of course. Just look me up. You'll find me.
Go to YouTube. That's where you need to
Yeah,
go. Go subscribe.
Go subscribe to YouTube. It's just DJ Manipulator. Twitch, and my website as well, which I desperately need to update. DJmanipulator.com.
No, your website's cool, dude. It's got a dusty feel to it with the right info.
Right, for sure. I just need to update like the current releases and things like that. So,
got you.
But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Cool. All right, you got any crazy questions for me, or you want to call it a night so you can get busy?
I'm gonna get busy on these beats. But I appreciate you having me for this. This was fun, man. I know we wanted to do it a while ago, but this was I'm glad we got to do it this way.
Yeah. It's nice connecting with other creatives, and even though it was a different theme than where I'm used to on it. I want to transition my podcast anyways to more. It doesn't need to be someone I lost contact with 20 years ago. It could just be anybody.
Right.
And it's been therapeutic to connect with people. So yeah, let's keep in touch, and I'll keep a lookout for the projects, and appreciate you. Have a good night, man.
You too, man. Absolutely. Take care, man.
All right. Be on the lookout for those raps I'm going to send you.
I can't wait. All right, man. All right. Peace.